We're at Interior Images in beautiful downtown Sheridan, Wyoming. We're talking bread today, the Old Marché with Karis Prusak. Very excited to talk about bread. Of course, anything French, we think bread, some of the best bread in the world. Thanks for joining us. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Before we get started, we should also say this segment is sponsored by Jennifer Dafoe, independent agent of Weaver Insurance at Weaver Insurance. And now you are going to make a wonderful loaf of bread that is very healthy, and you're going to tell us over the next couple of shows actually how this is done. But first of all, you got to start with a starter kit. What's involved with that?
Right. So this is our sourdough starter kit. Essentially, it's a dehydrated starter, and so you feed this. You throw it in with some water, some flour, and feed it, and that'll activate the good little bugs in here to get it going. And when you get it in this form, it takes a couple weeks to get it happy like this guy. And it does take quite a bit of attention. And you're feeding it every 6 hours rather than every 12 with one that's happy and going.
So when you get the good product, I mean, there's definitely, it's a labor of love.
It is.
But it's worth it at the end.
Yes, and a lot of people do name their starter. It is quite a temperamental thing. So I have not done that. But once you get your starter going, there's a couple different things you can do with it. So you can either feed it. I feed mine every 12 hours. And if I'm going to go on vacation or whatever, you just throw it in the fridge, and it can sit there for a few weeks.
Yeah, okay, as long as it's in the refrigerator.
As long as
settle down for a little bit, go on vacation.
Correct.
Then
yes.
it's hungry again.
It
That's
is.
Right.
So the top will form a darker water layer, which is called a hooch. And you can mix that back in. It's nothing to be afraid of.
Okay.
It will smell because of the bugs want that They're fermenting still, and so they're saying, I'm hungry, so you want to feed it.
Okay. So what all is in this jar again? You have the starter.
Yep. So it's just water, flour, and starter.
And you have actually used several different flours for your products? Different kinds?
Yes. So I usually feed my starter with just a regular unbleached flour.
Okay.
And sometimes I'll get a baker's flour, which has a higher protein content. So after vacation, when it's more hungry, you want to feed it a higher protein content flour. And so they'll be happier. And I always look at how many bubbles I get in my starter. Tells me how happy it is.
Oh, okay. We want it to be happy.
We want it to be happy.
You don't want an angry thing at all.
No, because if your starter's not happy, you're not going to get a good bread.
And these breads are available as well as the starter at Freedom Foods?
At Freedom Foods.
And at Landon's?
And at Landon's, correct.
Excellent. Yep. And so if you want to start with a starter, make a healthy bread for the family, then certainly go to the Freedom Foods and check that out. So next segment, when we come back, we're going to go from here to here. It doesn't just magically happen there in a few steps. We're going to put Jennifer to work.
That's right.
I think she's looking bored over there, so we'll make sure she gets to work. Thank you for being on this particular segment. We'll see you next time.
All right, thanks so much.
Thanks, Karis. We'll be right back.